Imagine this. You're careful with your diet, you buy the healthiest produce, is take all your vitamins, and avoid junk food. But somehow, your memory still slips, your focus fades, and simple tasks start to feel overwhelming. What if I told you the culprit isn't what you think? This isn't a virus, it isn't stress, and it isn't just aging. Millions of people assume forgetfulness is normal after 45, but the truth is far more insidious. Hidden in plain sight, in the very foods and oils you use every day, lurks a silent brain pest. It quietly inflames your neurons, disrupts the delicate balance of neurotransmitters, and accelerates cognitive decline without a single warning sign. The most dangerous part? It looks completely normal. You could be feeding it daily, thinking you're doing everything right. In just a moment, I'm going to reveal exactly what this hidden threat is, why doctors rarely talk about it, and the simple, actionable habits and nutrients that can start repairing your brain tonight. As we age, the brain doesn't just fail suddenly. It fades quietly, almost imperceptibly, like a slow dimming of a light. One day, you remember everything clearly. A few months later, names slip away, words feel just out of reach, and focusing on simple tasks feels exhausting. At first, it's small. You forget a colleague's name, misplace your glasses, or walk into a room and completely forget why you came in. But over time, those little moments add up, and your mental sharpness begins to erode. Most people write it off as just getting older, but that excuse is incomplete and dangerously misleading. The truth is, after 45, your brain becomes far more sensitive to inflammation, blood sugar spikes, and chemical exposure. Foods and habits that seemed harmless in your 30s suddenly start to leave lasting damage. Here's the uncomfortable reality. For many of us, the biggest threats to our brain health aren't lurking in the environment, in traffic, or in stress at work. They're hiding inside our homes, in the very things we use to nourish ourselves. It's in the pantry, on the kitchen counter, in the oils we cook with, the containers we store food in, and the snacks we reach for every afternoon without thinking. Today, I'm going to expose the silent brain pest hiding in plain sight, explain why it's so destructive, and reveal the exact steps you can take to protect your memory, focus, and independence before it's too late. Let me tell you about Robert. Robert is 58 years old. He eats carefully, exercises twice a week, and has no chronic diseases. His blood work comes back perfect. Yet, despite doing everything right, he complains of constant brain fog, irritability, and trouble concentrating. Tasks that once felt effortless, paying bills, remembering appointments, even following a conversation, now feel like climbing a steep hill. His doctor reassures him that everything is fine. Your labs look normal. You're healthy, they say. But Robert doesn't feel fine, and that's the point. What most people don't realize is that the brain has no pain receptors. Damage doesn't scream. It whispers. It accumulates quietly over years. First, it's slower thinking, then reduced motivation. Emotional flatness creeps in. Short-term memory slips through your fingers. These subtle changes can feel normal, so most people ignore them, until the problem becomes undeniable. And here's the myth most of us have been told. As long as you eat low-fat, avoid sugar, and exercise, your brain is safe. It's comforting. Seems comforting, but it's not true. Because some of the most damaging substances for your brain aren't sweet. They aren't salty. They don't even taste bad. You can pour them over your salad, cook with them every day, and never suspect a thing. These silent toxins are odorless, tasteless, and heat-stable. They pass through your gut unnoticed, enter your bloodstream, and cross the blood-brain barrier, where they trigger low-grade, chronic inflammation inside brain tissue itself. Over time, this inflammation disrupts critical neurotransmitters like acetylcholine and dopamine, the chemicals responsible for memory, focus, and mood. That's why Robert feels foggy, unmotivated, and emotionally flat, despite living a seemingly healthy lifestyle. And the most shocking part? The source is something many of us were told was heart-healthy, something that has been marketed as safe, even beneficial, for decades. Something hiding right in our kitchens, quietly sabotaging our brain health while we go about our day. The silent brain pest hiding in your kitchen isn't a bug or a bacteria. It's something far more deceptive: industrial seed oils and the toxic byproducts they produce, especially when heated or repeatedly reused. I'm talking about soybean oil, canola oil, corn oil, sunflower oil, and the generic vegetable oil that lines grocery shelves everywhere. They're marketed as safe, heart-friendly, even essential for cooking. But behind that label lies a hidden danger. These oils are highly unstable. When exposed to heat, light, or air, they undergo a chemical transformation called oxidation, producing harmful compounds known as aldehydes and lipid peroxides. Here's the problem: these compounds are neurotoxic. They don't just irritate the gut or cause mild inflammation. They infiltrate your bloodstream, cross the blood-brain barrier, and begin quietly inflaming neurons. A 2020 study in a neurology journal found that chronic consumption of oxidized seed oils correlated with elevated markers of brain inflammation and reduced synaptic signaling. Translation: your brain cells stop communicating efficiently, memories become harder to form, focus slips away, even motivation wanes. This is why countless people experience mental fatigue, brain fog, and subtle cognitive decline, even though routine lab tests and checkups show perfectly normal results. The damage isn't obvious. It's silent and cumulative. But here's what makes it worse. These oils don't just cause inflammation. They actively drain your body of protective nutrients, including vitamin E, magnesium, and DHA, the very substances your brain relies on to repair itself and stay resilient. That means even if you're taking high-quality supplements, the nutrients may never reach your brain in meaningful amounts. The brain pest has already blocked their path. This is why the problem persists, despite eating healthy, exercising, or following every dietary guideline you've read. Simply removing the oils isn't enough. You also need to rebuild what's been quietly destroyed over years, restore nutrient levels, and give your brain the chance to heal. In the next section, we'll go over the exact nutrients and habits that do just that, the ones your brain has been begging for, and how you can start using them today. Now that we understand the damage, let's talk about what actually restores brain resilience after 45. This isn't about generic advice. These are science-backed strategies that target the hidden brain pest and repair years of silent inflammation. The first key nutrient is DHA-rich omega-3s, but not from cheap generic capsules you pick off a drugstore shelf. DHA is the primary structural fat in your brain. It literally makes up the membranes of your neurons, keeping them flexible, healthy, and capable of transmitting signals efficiently. It also reduces neuroinflammation, calming the subtle chaos that toxins like oxidized oils create. The mistake most people make is taking DHA carelessly, often alongside the very oxidized oils that destroy it. When that happens, your body neutralizes much of the benefit before it ever reaches your brain. The correct approach is simple. Take DHA in the evening, ideally with a clean fat source like extra virgin olive oil or after a fish-based dinner. The timing ensures it reaches the brain during its natural overnight repair cycles. Let me give you an example. Margaret, a 62-year-old retired teacher, had been struggling with forgetfulness and low energy for years. Within 6 weeks of adjusting her DHA intake and timing it properly, she noticed sharper recall, improved mood, and even a boost in mental stamina when reading or learning new skills. The second powerful tool is magnesium threonate. Unlike magnesium citrate or oxide, which barely cross into the brain, threonate penetrates the blood-brain barrier efficiently. It calms overactive neurons, improves sleep quality, and enhances learning capacity. Taken at night, magnesium threonate works while you sleep, supporting the brain's natural detox and repair processes. People often notice they wake up more alert, with clearer thinking and reduced anxiety levels. The third solution is a diet rich in polyphenols, the powerful antioxidants found in blueberries, dark leafy greens, and olive oil. These compounds neutralize oxidative stress caused by years of exposure to the hidden brain pest. Think of them as a cleanup crew, sweeping away debris and repairing the micro-damage left behind in your neurons. Combined, DHA, magnesium threonate, and polyphenol-rich foods don't just stop further damage. They actively rebuild and protect your brain, helping you reclaim mental clarity, memory, and focus that may have felt lost. This is where most people go wrong, and why even the healthiest intentions sometimes fail. You can take the right supplements, eat clean, and exercise. But if you keep these hidden habits, your brain continues to suffer in silence. First, stop cooking with vegetable oil, no matter how fancy, expensive, or organic it claims to be. When heated, these oils oxidize rapidly, producing toxic compounds that act like microscopic irritants in your neurons. Every frying pan, every sautéed dish, every stir-fry could be feeding the silent brain pest we've been talking about. Second, stop reheating food stored in plastic containers. That Tupperware might seem convenient, but heat causes the plastic to leach endocrine-disrupting chemicals. These compounds don't just affect hormones, they amplify brain inflammation, subtly sabotaging memory, focus, and mood without you even realizing it. Third, avoid low-fat packaged foods. The ones marketed as heart-healthy or low-fat often replace natural fats with emulsifiers and processed oils that destabilize brain chemistry. These hidden ingredients quietly undermine the nutrients you're trying to provide your brain, leaving you foggy, irritable, and forgetful. These 3 habits might seem small, but they're deceptively destructive. They silently undo months, even years, of effort to protect your brain. The good news? Once you eliminate them, the positive changes from supplements, nutrient timing, and antioxidant-rich foods start to accelerate dramatically. In the next section, we'll cover the final advice and one bonus tip that can supercharge your brain protection, plus how to keep your memory sharp for decades to come. Let's recap everything we've covered today. Your brain isn't failing simply because of age. It's reacting to chronic exposure to hidden toxins, substances you consume daily without realizing the damage they cause. Industrial seed oils act like a slow-burning pest. They inflame brain tissue, disrupt neurotransmitters, and drain your body of the nutrients it desperately needs to protect memory, focus, and mood. The solution is straightforward, but it requires intentional action. By removing these oils from your diet, restoring DHA-rich omega-3s at the right time, supporting your brain with magnesium threonate, and eating polyphenol-rich, antioxidant foods, you give your brain the tools to repair, rebuild, and defend itself. Here's a bonus tip that most people overlook. Switch to stable cooking fats. Use extra virgin olive oil for low-heat cooking and grass-fed butter or avocado oil for higher-heat dishes. These fats are brain-friendly and won't create the toxic byproducts that seed oils do. Remember, small, consistent changes compound into powerful protection. A few smart swaps in your kitchen can dramatically improve mental clarity, memory, and focus over time. Now I want to hear from you. What oil have you been using every day? Drop your answer at the comments below. I read every single one, and your experience could help someone else protect their brain too. And here's the tease for the next video. I'll reveal a common breakfast habit that silently shrinks memory centers in the brain after 50, and I'll show you exactly how to reverse the damage in just 3 days. Make sure you're subscribed and hit the notification bell. Your brain health depends on it, and you won't want to miss what's coming next.